আজকে যে ক্লাসটা করব তার উপরে একটা ক্লাস টেস্ট নেব, ওই সেকশনটিও বলছি, তো ওরা বলছে যে জানাবে আমাকে। তো তোমাদেরকেও বলে রাখলাম আজকে একটা ছোট একটা মেথড, মানে 20-25 মিনিটে, তো এটার উপরে একটা ক্লাস টেস্ট হবে নেক্সট উইকে। ঠিক আছে?
জি স্যার।
নেক্সট উইকে ক্লাস টেস্ট হবে 8:30টায় জুমে। আগের মতোই জুমে সবাই অ্যাক্টিভ থাকবা, ভিডিও অন রাখবা, কিন্তু সাবমিট করবা সাবমিট করবা গুগলে, মানে আগেরটার মতোই। তবে মানে এটা কিন্তু অনেকে ভেরি ইন্টারেস্টিং দেখলাম যে কাল 2-3 দিন আগেও আগের ক্লাস টেস্ট 2-3 জনের সাবমিট করছো। এটা আসলে কি করতেছে তোমরা, আমি বুঝতেছি না কিছু। ক্লাস টেস্ট নিয়েছি কত আগে, পরশু দিন একজনে সাবমিট করছো, আমি নাম বলতে চাচ্ছি না। তো এই ধরনের ফানি জিনিস করো না, কারণ এগুলা কিন্তু তোমার দেখা যাবে যে এই ধরনের কাজ করলে তুমি ওটায় তো নাম্বার পাবাই না, বরং এইটাও কিন্তু তোমার একটা ব্যাড ইমপ্রেশন আসবে তোমার প্রতি। ঠিক আছে? তো সেই জিনিসগুলো তোমরা করবা না, ডিউ টাইমে সবকিছু করবা। তোমাদের আমি যে টাইম দেব সেই টাইমের পরে 1 সেকেন্ড পরেও যদি কেউ আপলোড করো সেটা আর কনসিডার করা হবে না। সেটা এটা একটু কেয়ারফুল থেকো। এনিওয়ে, তাহলে আমি ক্লাসটা শুরু করি। ভেরি স্মল ক্লাস টুডে। Basically, is the slide visible to you? Could anybody respond?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so today I will discuss a new method to calculate slope and deflection, that is conjugate beam method. It is another new method, conjugate beam. It is nothing but it is very much close to the area moment method. It is very close to area moment method. Okay. So I'll complete this method today, and next classes will be held on this method. Okay, so if we integrate different, if we differentiate the deflection curves with respect to length of the structure for many times, then what will you get? So the first equation is the equation for deflection. EIY equals to deflection. EI, the properties, one is material properties, another one is sectional properties, and Y is the deflection. Okay, so this equation indicates the deflection of a body subjected to applied load. Then if we differentiate this equation with respect to x means the length of the structure, then we will get the slope of the deflection. Okay, so this equation gives the deflected shape of the structure. This equation gives the slope of the deflected shape at different location. Okay, so here actually we are differentiating this equation with respect to x. Again, if we differentiate this equation with respect to x, then we will get EI d square y by dx square, and we know it is the equation of x. According to we have learned in the integration method, double integration method, in there we have seen that d square y by dx square EI will be equals to moment. Okay, will be equals to moment due to the applied load. And again, if we differentiate this equation, then we know the slope of the moment diagram is the shear force. Slope of the moment diagram is the shear force. Okay, so if we differentiate this one with respect to x, then it will be this. It is nothing but the shear force. Okay, again, if we differentiate this, that means we are differentiating shear force with respect to x, or we are double differentiating moment with respect to x. Excuse me, then we will get this. And from the previous conventional shear force and bending moment diagram, we know that the slope of the shear force indicates the applied load. Okay, indicates the applied load. So this one is the moment diagram, and if we differentiate it, then we will get the shear force, and if we differentiate it, we will get the load, applied load. Okay, so if we start from here and comes to here, then we will get deflection slope moment. Deflection slope moment. That means if we differentiate deflection, then we will get the slope, and if we differentiate slope, we will get the moment. Again, if we start from here, so it is nothing but this one. If we differentiate, we are differentiating this one to get this one. So, and we are differentiating this one to get this one, and we are differentiating this one to get this one, and we are differentiating this one to get this one. Okay, so we can imagine that this one is this one is this one is this. Okay, and this principle will be used to calculate slope and deflection in this method. So here, in this method, we will imagine a structure. We will imagine a structure that will be subjected to this moment. And again, we'll assume that it is not moment, it is the applied load. It is not moment, it is the applied load. Then we'll imagine a fictitious structure. Fictitious, that means imaginary structure. And again, we will assume that imaginary structure is subjected to this amount of load. Then if we differentiate that load, we will get the shear. That is nothing but the slope of the structure. This one is the deflection, that one is the slope, and that one is the load. This one is load. Okay, deflection, slope, load. So deflection, slope, load. That means if we imagine a fictitious structure that is subjected to this amount of load, then if we find the shear force at any point, that will give you the value of the slope. That means this one is similar. So the shear force is equals to the deflection of the slope. And again, if we differentiate this one, then we will get the load. So load of that fictitious beam will be equals to the moment. Here, this is the moment. It will be clear if we solve a problem. So actually, in case of fictitious beam, this one is real beam. From here to here, it is a real beam, and from here to here, it is a fictitious beam. That means it is an imaginary beam. So in case of real beam, if we differentiate deflection, we will get the slope. If we differentiate slope, we will get the moment. And in case of imaginary beam, moment will be replaced by the force. So if we differentiate this one, we will get the slope. If we differentiate this slope, we will get the load. So it is nothing but this one is deflection, that one is slope, that one is moment. So that is the relationships between real structure and fictitious structure. In real structure, it will be deflection, and imaginary structure, that will be moment. Okay, and in real structure, it will be slope. In real structure, it will be shear. In real structure, it will be moment, and imaginary structure, it will be load. So it means that the moment will be equals to the deflection, and shear force will be equals to the moment. That means load. Load will be equals to the deflection, shear force will be equals to the slope, and load will be equals to the moment. Okay, so that is the relationships between the equations. That means, say this is a real structure, and this structure is subjected to this load. Then we will draw the M by EI diagram of this structure for this slope. Okay, we will draw the M by EI diagram of this structure for this load. Then say this is the M by EI diagram acting on this beam. Okay, so in case of imaginary beam or conjugate beam, we will assume that it is not moment, it is load. In case of imaginary or in case of fictitious beam, we will assume that it is nothing but load. It is not moment. It is nothing but load. Load means say it is distributed load. It may be uniformly distributed or varying distributed, etc. But it is load. It is not M by EI diagram. Then the shear force at anywhere along the length of this beam indicates the slope at that point of this beam due to this applied load. Okay, that means if we assume it is not moment, it is a load. Then if we determine the shear force at any point, then that shear force will be similar to the deflection of this beam at this point. Okay, and excuse me, and the moment of this point, moment at this point due to this applied load indicates the slope of the moment of the beam. I am wrong. Is it clear to everybody? So I am again repeating it. First of all, say this is a real beam, and this real beam is subjected to this type of load. Then we will draw the M by EI diagram of this beam for this load. So that is the M by EI diagram. That is the M by EI diagram. Then we will assume that this is not M by EI. This is the load acting on this beam. Then the shear force at any point due to this load will be similar to the deflection of that point, and the moment of this load will be equal to the slope of the point. Sorry. তার একটা মাস্টার্স এর রেজাল্ট নিয়ে একটু প্রবলেম anyway. So again I am repeating. So this is the structure subject to this applied load. Then we will draw the M by EI diagram of that load for this load of this beam. Then we will assume that it is not M by EI. It is the applied load. Then we will find the bending moment and shear force. The shear force will be similar to the similar to the deflection. Shear force will be similar to the slope, and moment will be similar to the deflection. Okay, moment will be similar to the deflection. And there are two theorems here. Theorem 1 and theorem 2. Actually, it is nothing but that I was explaining, repeating. The actual slope will be the fictitious shear. That means we will calculate the shear force at any point and different points, and that will be the slope at that points. Okay, it is theorem 1, and in theorem 2, the actual deflection will be the fictitious moment. That means the moment at different locations will be similar to, will be equal to the deflection at those locations. Okay, now we can solve a problem, an example. So it is a simply supported beam A to B. Actually, this point is A, that point is B. The total length of the beam is 9 plus 3, 12 meter, and this beam is subjected to concentrated load 8 kilonewton, 9 meter away from A or 3 meter away from B. Okay, and the modulus of elasticity of this material is 2000 GPa. Modulus of elasticity is 2000 GPa, and moment of inertia of this section is 60 times 10 to the power 6 millimeter to the power 4. This is the sectional properties. That means you will find it, or we can get it using the geometry of the cross section, and that is the material properties. Excuse me. Okay, now we have to calculate the maximum deflection of the steel beam. Okay, determine the maximum deflection of the steel beam. Okay, so first of all, we will calculate the reactions. So as it is a determinate structure, so we can easily calculate the reactions at two supports. So reaction at this point is 2 kilonewton and reaction at this point is 6 kilonewton. Okay, now we have to calculate the maximum deflection using the conjugate beam method. So to apply the conjugate beam method, first of all, we have to draw the M by EI diagram. Okay, we have to draw the M by EI diagram. Now, so this is the M by EI diagram. That means as the reactions are known, so you can draw the shear force diagram, and then you can draw the bending moment diagram, and then if you divide the bending moment by EI, then you will get the M by EI diagram. So this is the M by EI diagram. It will be a triangle. So M by EI diagram will be a triangle. So it is the M by EI diagram of the real beam. Now we will assume that it is an imaginary beam. It is an imaginary beam, and this imaginary beam is subjected to this amount of load, distributed load. This amount of distributed load. At this point, M by EI equals to 18 by 18 by EI. So for the fictitious beam, that will be the load. That will be the maximum value of the variable load. Maximum value of the variable load. So as the moment is positive, so the force will be upward, because upward direction is positive and downward direction is negative. So the applied load will be upward. So now it is the fictitious beam, or it is the conjugate beam. Okay, so it is the conjugate beam, and this beam is subjected to this amount of distributed load. Okay, this amount of distributed load. So the shear force of this load will be the slope of the beam. Shear force of this beam will be equal to the slope of the beam, and the bending moment of this beam will be equal to the deflection of that deflection of the beam at that point. Okay, so now we have to calculate the maximum deflection, but we do not know where will it be. Okay, we do not know where it will be. That means we do not know the location of the maximum deflection. We do not know the location of the maximum deflection. So we can assume the maximum deflection will be located within this segment. Okay, it will be located within this segment, or it may be located within this segment. But initially, we can assume that it is located in this segment. And if you see that the length is more than 9 meter, that means actually the location of maximum deflection will not be here; it will be here. In that case, if the length is greater than 9 meter, but if the length is smaller than 9 meter, that means the location of the maximum deflection will be in this segment. Okay, so how and assume it is located x distance from A. say it is this is the so you can assume that at here the slope will be maximum. At here slope will be maximum. So this distance is x. This distance is x. So how can we calculate the x? Because x is a variable. We do not, x is unknown. So how can we know it? How can we determine it? To know the x value, we have to apply the boundary condition. Okay, we have to apply the boundary condition, and boundary condition is what? From the previous lecture, we have seen that the maximum deflection will be happen where the slope is 0. Okay, or slope is minimum. Maximum deflection will be there where the slope is 0. Okay, where the slope is 0. So applying that boundary condition, we can calculate the location of the maximum deflection. Okay, that means slope at that point will be 0. Okay, so again, as now it is a conjugate beam, that means it is a beam and it is subjected to this amount of distributed load. So you can again easily calculate the reactions. So reaction at it is a determinate structure, so it will so you can easily calculate the reactions applying summation of moment and summation of apex. Excuse me. So that will be the moment, reaction at point A, and 63 by E, that is the reaction at point B. And this is the resultant of this force. Okay, it is the resultant of this force, and that is the resultant of this force. Actually, you do not need to show it here, because to calculate the reactions, you can easily take the moment here, or to calculate this reaction, you can easily take the moment here. Yeah, so you do not need to show here, but to understand, to make it easy to understand for everybody, it is showing here. Actually, you do not need it. Okay, so as I have assumed it, the location of maximum deflection is here, and this distance is x. So we have to calculate the shear force here, because slope is nothing but the shear. Slope is nothing but the shear, and slope will be 0 at this point. Slope is nothing but the shear, and slope will be 0. That means shear force at this section will be 0. Shear force at this section will be 0. So how can we calculate the shear force? Shear force will be this reaction minus this force. This reaction minus this reaction is downward, so it will be negative, minus this reaction plus this force, total this applied force. Okay, so to calculate this applied force, you have to calculate the ordinate here. You have to calculate the ordinate of this triangle. So to calculate the ordinate, you can easily apply the properties of similar triangle, because there will be two similar triangles. One is this one, and another one is this one. Those two triangles are similar triangle. Okay, so from applying the properties, similar triangle will be this ordinate divided by this length equals to this ordinate divided by this length. Okay, so this ordinate is W and this length is X, equals to this ordinate is 18 by EI divided by this length is 9. So here, so this is the relationships between, so from this equation you can get the value of W. W is nothing but the ordinate at this point. Okay, W is nothing but the ordinate at this point. So W will be 2x divided by EI. It is 9 to 18, it is 9, and so if you transfer this one, it will be on the numerator side. So it will be 2x divided by EI. Okay, 2x divided by EI. So according to the boundary condition, shear force at this point will be 0. Shear force at this point will be 0. So you can apply the summation of apex. Summation of apex. So this point, this force is negative, so it will be minus 45 divided by EI, and this force is upward, so it will be half this force will be area of this triangle. Okay, area of this triangle. So area of this triangle half base height. The half base is this one, say twice x by EI, and height is x. So that is height. So from here, the value of x is 6.71. 6.71 meter. Okay, and initially we assume that the location of maximum deflection will be in this segment. will be in this segment, and the total length of this segment was 9 meter. Now this distance is 6.7 meter. That means it is so from here it is 6.7. That means it will be somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here. That means it is not greater than 9. If this value is greater than 9, that means this point will be in this segment. In that case, our assumptions were not correct. Okay, assumptions were not correct. But in this case, the length of X is 6.7. That means it is smaller than 9 meter. So the point will be located in this segment. That means our assumptions were correct. Assumptions were correct. So the location of the maximum deflection will be 6.71 meter away from A. But now, but we have to calculate the deflection, and deflection is what? Deflection is the moment of this moment at this point. Moment at this point due to this applied load. So what is the moment at this point? It will be the clockwise direction positive. So so this one will be negative 45 EI times 6.7 minus this one is this one is positive clockwise. So so the moment will be this. Oh, here anti-clockwise positive. Anti-clockwise positive. So from here you will get the M. It is not M. It is not the differentiation of M. It is bending moment for the conjugate beam. Okay, bending moment for the conjugate beam. So the bending moment. So the bending value of bending moment is minus 16.8. Minus 16.8, and that is nothing but the deflection according to the theorem 2. Okay, according to the theorem 2. Theorem 2 explains that the moment of the fictitious diagram will be equals to the deflection of the real structure. Okay, deflection of the real structure. So this moment will be similar to the deflection, and deflection is negative. That means deflection is downward, and it makes sense because say for this type of load, definitely this beam will be deflected downward. This beam will be deflected downward. That means deflection will be definitely downward, and our result also indicates that the deflection is downward. That means our assumptions are correct. Okay, so that is the deflection of the maximum deflection of the beam, and it is located 6.71 meter from A. That is the end of today's class. Do you have any question? কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে তোমাদের? বলো থাকলে। এটাই কিন্তু তোমাদের ক্লাস টেস্টের সিলেবাস। তোমরা কি শুনতেছো আমার কথা?
জি স্যার।
কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে? মনে হয় নাই, তো না থাকলে গুড, তাহলে তোমরা সবাই বুঝছো। তাহলে তোমাদের নেক্সট ক্লাস টেস্ট নেক্সট উইকের এই দিনেই 8:30 এক্স্যাক্টলি 8:30 পরে কিন্তু কাউকে ইয়া করা হবে না, ঢুকতে দেওয়া হবে না, ঠিক আছে? এক্স্যাক্টলি 8:30 জুম অ্যাকাউন্টটা অ্যাক্টিভ করে রাখবে, আমি লিংক পাঠাবো, সেখানে ভিডিও অন করে রাখবা, কিন্তু সাবমিট করবা গুগলে, এবং সেটা একবারে ডিউ টাইমের ভিতরেই আপলোড হতে হবে। এটা তোমাদের কেন আপলোড হয় না, কি হচ্ছে, এটা আমি শুনতে চাই না। আমি ক্লাস টেস্টের হয়তো টাইম দেবো, এমন কোশ্চেন করবো 20 মিনিট, আর 10 মিনিট দেবো আপলোডের সময়। আপলোড 10 মিনিট ইজ মোর দেন এনাফ, ঠিক আছে? এবং ওই টাইমের ভিতরে আমি যে টাইম অ্যাসাইন করবো তার ভিতরেই যারা সাবমিট করবো তাদের খাতাটাই দেখবো, আর যারা লেট হবে তাদেরটা আমি করবো না, কনসিডার করবো না। সুতরাং এটা তোমরা কিন্তু মাথায় রাখবা যে ওই টাইমের ভিতরেই তোমাকে আপলোড মেক শিওর করতে হবে যে আপলোড হয়েছে। কেন হয় না সেটা আমি কনসিডার করবো না, ঠিক আছে? তাহলে ভালো থেকো।
স্যার
বলো।
স্যার ক্লাস টেস্টের নোটিশটা স্যার একটু ক্লাসরুমে স্যার দিয়ে দেন, তাহলে স্যার সুবিধা হতো।
ক্লাস টেস্টের নোটিশটা আমি ওদের দিচ্ছি, ওরা বলছে যে তোমাদের শেয়ার ওই সেকশনে নাকি?
স্যার আমি স্যার
ও তুমি তাহলে তুমি তুমি ডিল করো, তুমি এই যে সবার সাথে কথা বলে, ওরা বলছে যে আজকের ভিতরে আমাকে জানাবে।
স্যার নোটিশটা স্যার মানে জি স্যার আমরা নেক্সট মঙ্গলবারই স্যার দেবো স্যার।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, তাই, আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে,
আচ্ছা স্যার, ওকে স্যার।
ঠিক আছে তাহলে, হ্যাঁ? ভালো থাকো।